Hello, welcome to Dawnxisoul393. The Grass Island of Hong Kong, Part 2, The Ineffable Special Charm of the Grass Island. We felt that Grass Island has an ineffable and special charm. We pushed the baby stroller around the island, sketching and painting all the way, listening to the laughing and crying sounds of the sea. It was the ultimate spiritual treat. When we were painting, we talked to the islanders who were interested in our paintings and learned about the fishermen's culture on the island. And we gained a lot. One of the main streets of the island, Haibang Street Waterfront Street, best reflected the style of the fishing island. The seafood in the restaurant was very fresh and delicious, and the dry seafood produced locally was very rare. After passing Haibang Street and climbing the stone steps, we saw three perennial ancient temples: Tianhou Temple, Guan Emperor Temple, and Water Moon Palace. Among the three ancient temples, Tianhou Temple has the longest history. This ancient temple was built in the late Ming and early Qing dynasties to protect the fishermen on the island, and it has a history of over 400 years. It was said that underneath a sacred table in the temple there was a secret passage leading to the Pagoda Gate cave on the east coast of the island, where people could hear the sound of wind and waves and predict storms. Walking along the path on the left of our abandoned school, we saw vast grassland. At this time, we could probably understand why the island was named Grass Island in English. Further on, there were only mountains, wild rocks, and trees, and there was no sign of houses. High and low, we walked a small mountain road and climbed a low slope. In front of us, there was the sea, which was bright and cheerful. On our right side, there was a path leading to the top of the mountain, which was not high. We put our baby stroller at the foot of the mountain, hugged our daughter little Daisy, and climbed the mountain to experience the feeling of watching and painting the sea from a high place. When we got to the top of the mountain, we found a corner nearest to the sea and sat on the ground. We began to draw. All the sounds of nature were accompanying us: the chirping of birds, the fine sound of the sea breeze blowing bushes, the whispering of distant cattle, the churning of waves, and the roar of sea water hitting the reefs. Although there were many voices, our hearts were quiet. After finishing our paintings on the mountain and preparing to go down the mountain along the original road, we found a path, winding and slowly extending towards the sea. We went down the mountain slowly along the path, unable to stand the temptation of beautiful scenery. We still painted all the way. The sun shows its face every now and then to show its presence, as if to tell us that it won't suddenly rain, and all we have to do is just walk slowly and calmly on the path. The time passed quickly. Gradually the sun set. At this time, the island was the most beautiful. There was no colorful. Only the dreaming orange, red, and yellow remained in the sky. The sunset carefully portrays the floating clouds, the color of the clouds changing endlessly, a while white, a while golden yellow, a while half purple and half yellow, a while half green and half red, really colorful. The sky was rendered as beautiful as a watercolor painting. We sorted out the paintings we drew on the island today and were ready to go home. At that moment, we saw a ferry slowly pulling into the pier, and we walked quickly towards the pier, just in time to catch the ferry. We have been to many islands in Hong Kong, and we loved every one of them. However, Grass Island is the quietest of the islands we have been to. Although the transportation to the island is inconvenient, perhaps it is because of this that tourism are rare and so quiet, and tourism tents that are difficult to see elsewhere can be seen here. When we left the island, it was not dark yet. The colorful tents, green grass, blue sea, and blue sky formed a great beauty. Some of our friends used to build tents on the island for a few days just to experience this peaceful life that we can't experience at all in the heart of Hong Kong. We deeply appreciate the refreshing feeling when facing the sea. It was such a pleasant thing to be on a beautiful island, listening to the sound of the waves and enjoying the warmth and refreshing sea breeze.